Okay guys, if you have had bubble tea, you probably are like me. That first sip, you are obsessed. I'm not sure how many people have had it because a lot of the times I'll describe bubble tea to somebody and they'll think I'm crazy. They've never heard of it. But once you try it, you will be hooked. So I wanted to figure out the best way to make bubble tea at home. And if you did find this video, guys, please make sure you give me a big thumbs up. My channel is typically about tech and Tesla, so making some random category like boba tea, it's probably not going to do very good. This video is not going to do good unless you like it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things to help me out. All right, let's get started. Now let me backtrack on that. I mean, the quickest best way. Because I bought a bubble tea kit on Amazon that basically came with everything you needed. I spent $40. One, the bubble tea took 70 minutes. Like the bubbles itself took 70 minutes to make. I don't want that. I want something faster. The tea it came with was loose. It didn't come with filters, so I had to like strain it. It was a big pain. Like the whole process of making bubble tea from that specific kit I bought on Amazon was over 2 hours. I'm not exaggerating. I wanted something quick, something I could just like make, kind of whip up really quickly. It's not going to be like instant, but this method I have is way quicker. So you're going to need some few things, obviously. I'm not a bubble tea connoisseur. This is literally the second bag I've ever tried, but it tastes fine to me. And I've had bubble tea all the time, like at to-go bubble tea places. But it's basically just ready in 5 minutes. This is the style that you want if you don't want it to take forever. And I bought this on Amazon. It was like $5. It says it has 5 servings per container, which is 1/3 of a cup per serving. I typically do about like a half, closer maybe to 3/4 of a cup. So I'll get like 3 to 4 servings out of this. Now, the other parts of the bubble tea, I can't forget that, is the straw. So like you have to have the big straw to enjoy bubble tea. Because if you sip it like that, you're literally going to drink all of your tea and then get to the bottom and you're just going to have like a mouthful of tapioca. The straws are the best experience. Like you can see these fit like perfectly in the straw, like amazing. And these are actually reusable too. So they are plastic, but like hard plastic, and they come with like a cleaner. So if you're like me who's like interested in making bubble tea at home frequently, I would recommend getting the reusable ones just because it's going to be cheaper over time and also good for the environment. We love a environmentally conscious tea drinker. And then last but not least, so you're going to need some type of liquid to put the boba in. And I love mango black tea. So like this I got from Amazon. I read the reviews. Apparently there was a mango black tea at Trader Joe's that people obsessed over and Trader Joe's stopped carrying it. And this is a pretty good alternative. So there was this restaurant I used to go to and they had this like mango black tea and it kind of tasted like this. And they served it unsweet and it was like really flavorful and I liked it. So this is kind of the feel I wanted to go for. You can do whatever tea you like, you can make with bubble tea. You can do green tea, you can do black tea. And then when you make the tea, you can sweeten it however you want. That is the joy of making this at home. You can truly customize it because you are the one making it. And like this, I mentioned I bought that like $40 kit. It's supposed to have like premium teas. I like these better. And then not to mention, they're tea bags. So it's way, way, way easier. And then a lot of people in their boba tea, they put some type of like cream in it. A lot of tea drinkers do that too anyway. So like you may notice that this it kind of looks like iced coffee maybe a little bit. It's because after I put the tea and the ice and the boba in the glass, I'll pour some actual literal coffee creamer. The same creamer I use for coffee, I pour in there. It's just kind of like a natural, not much flavor, pretty simple ingredients based creamer. If you have like funfetti coffee creamer, I would not want to put it in there. Or like caramel. Like caramel could work, but I like a more like, I don't know, just natural flavor. So you could use like whole milk, you could use like half and half, whatever, just experiment. Like that's the joy of doing it at home. You can make the perfect bubble tea. Like you can really kind of experiment. Okay, so enough of the chit chat. So how do you actually make this? It's very simple. Thank God for like this instant bubble tea, because like I said, the other bubble tea I had, it took about 70 minutes total. And then you can even go the extra step and make the dough and roll it from scratch. That would probably turn your bubble tea like session into like a whole afternoon. So this is amazing. It says it's 5-minute bubble tea. I think they're kind of lying a little bit, but I'll get into that in a second. So the order that you want to make all this in.
The tea.
My opinion, you need to make the tea first, because we're going to make a cold drink, and if you make tea and it's boiling hot and then you add the hot boba into it, it's going to get really watered down. So I've done this before where I have hot tea, hot boba, do ice and cream, and it's just not very flavorful. It's watered down. You could make the tea stronger by using less water, but what I do, so I make the tea a few hours before I make the boba. So make your tea, let it cool down, then put it in the fridge for like a few hours to where it's literally like cold tea, like the same temperature tea you would drink. And then after the tea itself is cold, then you want to make
The boba.
So the instructions are in the back of the bag, but I kind of like adjusted a little bit, and I'll kind of give you some of my tips and tricks I found out. So one thing that I'm going back to this $40 kit on Amazon that I hate, that I'm not even going to recommend. But that kit on Amazon, the bag, the instructions basically said make the whole bag. You do not want to make the whole thing of boba, because it says it needs to be enjoyed within 4 hours, but you can keep it in the fridge for a few days. What it didn't tell me is that if you keep boba in the fridge like overnight, it literally gets so hard and disgusting the next day. Like, I wanted to force myself to eat it, but I couldn't. It was so gross. You can microwave it to kind of make the texture come back, but whatever. The benefit of this, it's quick, so just make whatever amount that you want for your drink. So like I said, the serving is a 1/3 cup, but come on, nobody uses the serving, like they bump it up a little bit. So I do like a 1/2 cup. It says 10 cups water for every 1 cup of tapioca. So to make it easy, you could just do like 5 cups water for every 1/2 cup of tapioca. You want to boil the water first, of course. Once your water gets to a pretty good boil, you add your 1/2 cup of tapioca, or however much you want for your particular serving. If you're like serving a whole group of people, make the whole bag, that's great, that's fine. But whatever you make, anticipate consuming right away for the best possible outcome. Okay, so once the water's boiling, you dump it in, and you just want to stir it. Like, you don't want the tapioca pearls to stick to each other. You don't want them to stick to the bottom and burn. So you just kind of casually stir it, and eventually they will kind of like come up to the top. So when they float up to the top, that's your signal to start the next step. You want to change the heat on your stove to about medium, and then just cover them. And then at this point, cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, the first time I made these, they blew up really big, like bigger than they are now. And I thought I ruined them, but I think maybe just them getting too hot or whatever, they blow up. But after you remove them from the heat, you're good. So boil them on medium heat for 2 to 3 minutes with the lid on. And then after that, immediately turn the heat off on your stove, set your pot on a cool surface, and then do another timer for 2 to 3 minutes. So now that basically cooks your boba. So the next few steps are pretty important, because if you were to eat the boba right now where it's super hot, it's not going to have like that chew. It's like not going to have that good bounce like a gummy bear. It's going to be like, I don't know, a little bit oozy. So what you want to do is basically like, you want to shock them. You want them to stop cooking, and you want to get them cold. So what I do is just put them in a tub of ice water. So first, you just want to strain them out of the boiling water. Get most of that off, and then you want to dump them into cold water. The instructions on the bag say 20 seconds, so don't do too much longer. The thing is, if you get them super cold, they're going to probably do that same thing they did in my fridge overnight, where they get like hard and chunky. You don't want them to get too cold. You don't want them to like freeze. You just kind of want to take the heat off. And then even too, if you want to do this, what I did while I was making the boba, my bowl of water, like my tap water, I live in Florida, my tap water is fairly warm, even like during the winter time, it's not that cold. So I put some water in a bowl, whatever, and then I put some ice in and I just put it in the freezer. Not for a long time, but just enough to get the water super cold and chilly. And then you just, after the boiling boba has been strained, you just dump it in the cold water for about 20 seconds and then strain it out. And now, at this point, all of your ingredients are ready. So you should have your tea you made, your boba you made. You should have a cup you're gonna put your drink in. A clear cup is best because you can like see how cool it looks. Then you need your big straw and then your creamer. And you literally, I mean, you can probably do it in whatever order you want to. I would suggest ice like last because you want your boba on the bottom, definitely. What I do, I just put the boba in first, and then you can put your tea next. You can kind of judge how much you want. If your tea and boba is fairly cold, you're not gonna need too much ice. But if you're doing like hot tea and hot boba, you may wanna like leave a lot of room for ice. So after you put your ice in, then you can use, if you're into dairy or whatever, you just put some cream in. That's what I did. Like I said, creamer, milk, oat milk, soy milk, whatever that you would typically put in coffee is pretty good with tea as well. Like I said, as long as it's not like
Funfetti.
flavored, that might be wild. But then you're done, and then you just put a straw in, stir it, and you're good to go. And this is what it looks like. This is, I swear to God, this is so good. Anytime I want to get boba, like this is what I picture. And anytime I go to a boba place, I'm just like disappointed. Because one time I ordered mango black tea boba. And I got it, and it was not mango black tea. It was black tea sweetened with this like mango syrup, and I hated it. Like I want like a natural, very subtle taste. So good. And obviously doing this at home is gonna save you a ton of money because I bought 2 of these boxes on Amazon for like $10 and you get 40 tea bags. And I used 3 tea bags for a 1 quart pitcher of tea, and I can get 3 drinks out of that pitcher. This can get you about 4 drinks here, and this is $5. So when 2020 started last year, I had a big thing about making coffee at home because it saved me a lot of money. You save time, you don't have to wait in line. So now it's like, I really liked boba, and I didn't really think it was something I could make at home, and it was actually way easier than I thought. So hopefully this inspired you. If you've never had boba before in your life, maybe go try it once before you make it yourself, because I would hate for you to like take the time and not like it. You have to be okay with like chewing stuff. It's a wild experience. I love it. The mango in this is so good. Ugh. If you made it this far, be sure to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I typically make tech and Tesla related content, but this was just something a little bit different. I'll put 2 more videos of mine right there for you to watch. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you can click my face right there. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.